Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told how to voice radio, so today I'm going to be showing you another exciting new GX from the upcoming Ultra Prism expansion. Yes, the London International Championships were this weekend. Yes, I've had 3 very long days of streaming, and yes, it is very late and I'm recording in my hotel room. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? There is another new GX, so what am I going to do? Not do a video about it? No, I'm not doing a video about it. I'm doing a video about it. It is Dawn Wings Necrozma GX. It is a basic Pokemon, and I haven't played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon yet. That is coming up after this weekend, but it's basically Necrozma plus Lunala. It is a psychic Pokemon, which means you're hitting for weakness against stuff like Garbodor and Espeon, which is always good. But it's got a weakness to darkness, which is really nice, because darkness is really not a relevant typing in the Pokemon trading card game at the moment. It's got a resistance to fighting, which is really nice because of things like Buzzwole, and retreat cost of 2, as I've said in a number of videos, is literally the worst retreat cost possible. It's not 1, and you can't use Heavy Ball, so what's the gosh darned point? Well, the point is there's other things going for it. The ability Invasion. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active. Here's the thing. This is a basic Pokemon, and it's got this ability. So it is going to see play even when people don't attack with it. It's Keldeo EX. Or it's, Zoroark from Breakthrough, but Zoroark from Breakthrough is a stage 1. You just get to flick it into the active, then of course you attach a Float Stone and free retreat. It means that you do not get stuck in the active. It means that if your opponent paralyzes you with something like Froakie's Bubble, you can jump in the active with Dawn Wings Necrozma GX, attach a Float Stone, and then retreat. Keldeo saw play in an awful lot of decks, just purely for the ability. This is one of the best abilities we've had in the Pokemon trading card game in terms of just how much play it actually sees, and I would be extremely surprised if this did not see a lot of play for the ability alone. But of course, it has more than just the ability. We need to look even deeper. For free Psychic Energy, 120 damage, not affected by resistance. And I don't know what's going on at the moment with Pokemon Card Laboratory, the people that design these cards, but they really like printing good cards with attack costs of free Psychic Energy. Think something like Toxapex GX that excites a lot of people. I get a lot of messages about that card. Or something like, for instance, a Nihilego. Very interesting card. Free Psychic Energy is an awful lot. We don't have a good way of accelerating Psychic Energy, and this is a bit of an issue. Hitting through resistance is very good because there's plenty of metal Pokemon out there that do have a resistance to Psychic Pokemon, so in that way this is a pretty interesting card. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, free energy for 120 even on a basic isn't great. Being a basic, you can, of course, use Max Elixir. That's really nice at accelerating energy. And, of course, we have got the Prism Star Lunala. It's a basic Pokemon, and for 1 Psychic Energy, you get to attach 1 Psychic from your discard anywhere on your field for each Pokemon that your opponent has in play. They have 6 Pokemon in play. You get 6 basic Psychic from your discard. Attach them to your field in any way that you like. But neither of these are particularly amazing. Earlier today I showed you Duskmane Necrozma GX, which is a metal Pokemon, and even though the attacks are similarly expensive, it's got so many more options for energy acceleration that we're totally cool with it. Dawn Wings Necrozma doesn't. Now I suppose you've always got Shining Mew, and Shining Mew for 1 energy does allow you to attach any 2 energy from your deck, even Special Energy. And it's got free retreat, making it a decent starter, but it's also got 30 HP, especially with stuff like Buzzwole running around. You really don't want 30 HP Pokemon on your field. They are way too fragile. Although, maybe you want to be behind on prizes, more on that in a moment. Free energy, 120 damage, even going through resistance, I'm not a huge fan. But then we get to the GX attack. Free Psychic Energy, and this is a beauty. 180 damage, but it can only be used if you're behind on prizes. Okay, 180 is fine. We see this with some Pokemon. This is a decent amount of damage. You whack a Choice Band on there, you get a one-hit KO on something like Golisopod or Zoroark GX. But come on, Ho-Oh can do 180, and that's not a GX attack. What's special about this? Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. You get complete immunity the following turn, which means you get to do 180, hopefully 210 with a Choice Band, and at that stage you're taking a one-hit KO on a GX, you're taking 2 prizes, then you get to sit there and go, ha ha ha, I've got immunity, I am absolutely loving it, there's nothing you can do to hurt me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what makes this GX attack quite so good. And that's where my earlier point about Shining Mew came in. Shining Mew's got 30 HP, it's gonna get KO'd. So maybe you start Shining Mew, you use Shining Mew to get some energy onto your Dawn Wings Necrozma GX, then it inevitably gets KO'd, but that's okay. Not only do you then have access to your GX attack, but you also have access to something like Counter Catcher, which means you can pick which of your opponent's bench Pokemon you actually want to KO using this GX attack. The one huge downside here is, once you've used a GX attack, you are down to just a free energy attack that does 120 damage. It's not amazing. It's not particularly great. It won't even KO something like a Registeel, because Registeel's got 130 even though you're going through resistance. And it's that lack of a secondary attack which really makes me a little bit sad here. Of course, you could play this in a Lunala deck. The Lunala GX from Sun and Moon had a really nice ability that allowed you to move your psychic energy around the field however you like. That's really nice because after using the GX attack, you then get immunity, your opponent unable to get a KO, what with the whole immunity, and then you move the energy off of Dawn Wings Necrozma onto another attacker and off you go. Of course, you are using psychic energy here, so I suppose I have to mention that you could use Garbodor as an extra attacker, and to be fair, it only takes 1 energy, so that does make it pretty good. We do also have the upcoming second Lunala GX that for Psychic double colourless does 200 damage as long as you're willing to discard 2 psychic energy from it, or just 50 for a double colourless. So maybe here there would be some kind of Lunala deck that could work quite nicely indeed. You've got the Stage 2 Lunala for backup, and then you've got Dawn Wings Necrozma GX, you've got the great GX attack, you've got the great ability. You do need an attacker here though. You do have the Lunala from Guardians Rising, 130 for free psychic energy, and then you move that energy to your bench Pokemon. You can of course move it back with the GX, and then of course Scattershot 40 damage for every psychic energy on Lunala. And that's my biggest issue here. Maybe you use something like Garbodor as a late game attacker, but there is no great attack for Dawn Wings Necrozma GX. Having said that, it's a basic Pokemon, so you can always use something like Max Elixir. It's really easy to tech into something like a Lunala deck. The GX attack is phenomenal. 210 plus immunity is ridiculous. And even if you don't like it as an attacker, even if you don't like the GX attack, it doesn't matter. It's got stand-in. It's got the ability on a basic Pokemon that gives you a free switch every turn. It has got the ability on a Pokemon that guarantees that special conditions will never be an issue. So you know what? For that alone, I'm going to have to give this 4 Wassies. Keldeo saw a lot of play with Blastoise, but Keldeo also saw a lot of play with Darkrai. Why? Because it got around these special conditions that can be so punishing in the game, and that, ladies and gentlemen, really is what makes it great. I am a big fan of the GX attack, but it's the ability here that is the real selling point. Once again, Solgaleo, much better than Lunala. Nothing we can do about it, I'm sorry. But I had to bring you these new GXs, and given that I'm huddling in a hotel room quite late in the evening after 3 days of streaming the International Championships, I hope that is enough for you guys to drop a like down below and some kind of a comment. Show me that making these videos really late at night after doing a Pokemon stream all weekend was a good call on my part. Let me know if you like this Pokemon. Give me your thoughts. Go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some of the now weekly bonus podcasts, etc., you can do so at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.